What's up, y'all? Gonna make another short video. We're gonna talk about liars and why they're so good at their jobs. When you carry truth and you know that was a lie, I went into the store because my father requested to ask the front desk that he put change into the machine because he put, $30 worth of change and the machine was full, and the lady cuts me off and she is unaware of her own arrogance. And she was like a wall, kind of like a stingray. When people have a sword for a tail, they point it at your heart, telling you you're the liar, you're the crook. Oh, this is the person complaining about this. And it angered me, I swear to God. But you have to keep calm when you're dealing with people like this. You cannot become offended because they are just words. Actions are what affects how people will see you. And if you took action, say if I took action and went over that desk and robbed her for $30, that would be reckless. I would not be able to come back home because I would be in prison for 5 years. For just stealing $30, I would be charged a felony, a fine, and put time wasted away. 5 years. That's what you gotta think about, you guys. Before you do stupid shit, you have to take a step back to realize the consequences of your actions. You want to go back home, drop the fucking gun and walk away. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It angers me that the lady has been misled. She's just doing her job, but her attitude is the fucking reason she's still there. She does not give a fuck about the customer. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't give a fuck about anyone else but herself. She's only there for the money. Kind of like an escort, when escorts, there's certain escorts who become really greedy and they forget why they started. And then they become this, villain. And they actually enjoy it too. They love being the bad guy. And you know what? I'll be honest. Being the devil sometimes is pretty fun. That's my ego. I allowed my ego to laugh, but sometimes you also have to realize that you're not your mind. You're not the identity, you're not the character. You have to remind your ego that it's not the master. You have to be wise. The wise always wins the lottery ticket with your silence. When you walk away in silence, the narcissist in front of you cries like a baby, tries to pull you back, telling you how ashamed you should be for walking away and leaving them behind. That's kind of how they are. But when you stare back at them, which you probably won't because they're not really worth it, you win. You win. You are king. You are queen. Even if it made you have to leave behind a lot of people you thought were friends, they probably were at the time, but they chose their path. That's what happens, you know. And you know, I could still be worthy $200 billion. That is a mountain. You know, it's not really a mountain, but it's really just, it's here. We are worthy. It's the diamond within that attracts and manifests what we desire. I desire the views, not the views on YouTube, but the views of a good view, like this. Mountains, you know, a balance where I have like a old-fashioned log cabin in the woods, in the pine forest, with a old-fashioned oak tree, you know, hot bath, you know, where it's kind of like in a community, you know, kind of like a community, but it's not a cult. It's really just people who just do not want to be bothered. but and then also have a balance where, you know, I'm doing my real estate, I'm doing my music, my art, I'm art collecting, I'm meeting people all over the world and, you know, doing my thing and talking about my words, you know, coming out with books, helping people, you know. It may not be big ass events, but, you know, sometimes it's good to have big events. Get yourself out there sometimes. Even when it makes you nervous, it's really good for you. But not being so much at the center of attention. So, yeah, I think that's about it, you guys. I'm gonna leave the video here. If someone pisses you off, leave them with silence. Subscribe and goodbye.